Oscar, the German Shepherd and the furry member of the family, always had a strange sense of duty and devotion. His loyalty knew no bounds, and little did anyone know that this dog was unfortunately about to change the lives of the whole family forever. Joseph and Debbie, newly married, found their lives enriched with their arrival of their newborn baby, Luke. And like busy, working parents, they tried to spend as much time as possible with Luke every day. And every night, as the family settled in and got ready for bed, Oscar, however, would act a little different. His love for Luke was one of a kind, and it was unbreakable. At least, that's what Joe and Debbie thought. But there was something more, something sinister that was actually going to happen, and no one could have predicted it or expected it. As the nights would get darker and darker, Oscar's behavior would grow strange. You see, Oscar wouldn't let baby Luke sleep alone, and a mystery started to begin to unravel, leaving Joe and Debbie scared, worried, and flat out concerned. And night after night, Oscar would stand guard, and he would refuse to leave Luke's side. The intensity of his loyalty was unmatched, but was Oscar trying to hurt Luke, or was he trying to protect Luke? These are the questions that Joe and Debbie really were trying to find answers to. And Joe and Debbie contemplated every possibility. They were desperate to solve this. Now, it's important to remember that Oscar's dedication to Luke was truly remarkable at first. Night after night, he refused to let the baby sleep alone. Joe and Debbie loved this at first. You see, Joe and Debbie believed Oscar's presence was a source of comfort, a protector, ensuring that this little companion was safe. But this is where the story takes a turn. When Oscar began barking and pacing by the window every night, Oscar seemed to sense something that remained hidden to Joe and Debbie. And this is when Joe and Debbie really got scared. You see, because Joe and Debbie couldn't ignore the growing concern in their hearts. They knew there was something more, but they didn't want to say it out loud. Could Oscar really want to hurt Luke? There is just no way, they thought. And Debbie said to Joe, "I'm really starting to worry, Joseph. What if there's something wrong? Should we keep Oscar out of the room?" And you can hear Joe responding, "I don't know, Debbie, it breaks my heart, but we have to think about Luke's safety." Determined to find a solution, Joe and Debbie made a difficult decision. They were going to keep Oscar out of Luke's room, hoping it would ease his anxiety. However, their attempts were met with sheer desperation from Oscar, who would not let Luke out of his sight. And that's when the couple really thought, maybe we should let him in again. It seems to be the only way to calm him down, and has never hurt Luke or even growled at him. Reluctantly, they agreed to let Oscar back in. Realizing that Oscar's presence brought both the dog and baby Luke comfort, Joe and Debbie made the decision to again let Oscar sleep next to Luke. But the couple were still desperate for answers. Joe and Debbie turned to the police, seeking guidance on Oscar's unusual behavior and tendencies. And you could hear Joe on the phone saying, "Officer, we need your assistance. Our dog, Oscar, has been acting strange. We don't know what to do, and we think something is going on." And when the police officers showed up, they shared the same concern Joe and Debbie had. And given everything that Oscar has done so far, they recommended to have him examined by their vet. They might be able to shed some light on this behavior. Taking the officer's advice to heart, Joe and Debbie wasted no time taking Oscar to the vet in hopes of getting some feedback here. The vet carefully observed Oscar, looking for any physical or psychological explanations for this behavior. The vet told Joe and Debbie, physically, Oscar seems perfectly healthy. However, his protective instincts could indicate something beyond our understanding. It might be worth exploring further or even trying to watch him all the time. Now, Joe was stuck on the line, watch him all the time, and he was determined to understand Oscar's unusual behavior. And here's where Joe and Debbie took matters into their own hands. Installing hidden cameras, they were hoping to capture any helpful clues or signs to better understand what might be making Oscar like this. So, after days turned into nights and Joe and Debbie anxiously reviewed the footage, hoping to uncover the truth behind Oscar's behavior, the footage revealed Oscar standing guard by the window, his eyes fixed on something that remained unseen to everyone else. And that's when the two noticed that Oscar is watching something, but they couldn't understand what it was. So they decided to investigate this even further. They decided to install additional cameras outside to see if they can capture anything more. With hope, Joe and Debbie aimed these new cameras towards the window, hoping to capture whatever it was that was drawing Oscar's attention. And after a couple of days, as they watched this new footage, their hearts skipped a beat. There, captured on camera, was a masked intruder attempting to, what it looked like, break into their home. But then it looked like he pulled out this huge box and was throwing stuff into it. Both of them could not believe what they were seeing. Oscar knew something was wrong all along, and they needed to contact the police immediately. So, they did so. And armed with incriminating evidence, Joe and Debbie wasted no time contacting the police, eager to put an end to this intruder's sinister plans. And the revelation of the intruder actually raises even more new questions, right? Who is this masked figure? And what is their true intent? The couple were thinking to themselves. With the evidence at hand, the police wasted no time in responding to Joe and Debbie's call for help. Swiftly, the officers went through the footage and went and searched, what led them to an unexpected discovery. It was a hidden treasure chest concealed within the walls of the home, and inside the chest was a shocking array of items. This included drug money, illegal weapons, fake IDs, and drugs. The truth unraveled before their eyes. This masked intruder had been orchestrating a sinister plan to actually frame Joseph as a thief. And not just a normal thief, but a thief for various different drug leaders, which of course would result in very bad things happening. And this was more than just a break-in. It was a calculated scheme aimed at Joseph. And based on the evidence and the footage, they were able to identify the masked intruder and were actually able to catch him in the act. The police awaited him to arrive at the home throughout the night and were able to catch him. As the masked intruder approached the window, the police pounced and were able to secure the area. Joseph, Debbie, Luke, and Oscar all watched from a distance, filled with a mix of relief and gratitude and just a weight off their chest. And in the wake of everything, Oscar emerged as the unsung hero, a faithful companion who sensed the danger and protected his family. And Joe went on later to say, without Oscar, who knows what could have happened. We all owe Oscar our lives. This is something I will never forget for the rest of my life. Thank you, Oscar. I love you, buddy. The bond between Oscar, Luke, and the family has only deepened, fueled by the love and respect and appreciation for Oscar's loyalty and bravery. Throughout this whole crazy experience, Joe, Debbie, and Luke realized the impact that pets can have on our lives. They're not just dogs, they're friends, guardians, and family members. And we hope this heartwarming story has touched your hearts and reminded you of the incredible bond between humans and animals. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and uplifting animal stories and news. See you next time.